Last week, we ran a 1-hour live session on how to build apps and games with Canva AI. And if you want, you can still catch that full replay on the channel. It's right there under the live tab. Or if you have less time, you can watch this video, which is the short form in which I give you all of the prompting tips and hacks that I shared during the workshop with none of the rambling, none of the live stuff, just the exact steps you need to follow to turn your ideas into working apps within Canva. So, a few housekeeping announcements. There is a workbook that you can download with all of the slides, all of the tips I'm going to be giving you today to write better prompts for Canva Code. It's in the description. Don't skip the workbook. I think it's full of valuable resources. And yes, you will see when I start building these apps, there's a workflow that I will explain that will be made much easier if you do have the slides. So yeah, okay, let's jump into it. So today's topic is creating apps and games with Canva AI. We are going to be building one app, the RONNY Link Hub, and then we will build a game that I call the Canva Keyboard Shortcut Champion. Let me just show you, instead of telling you, I'm going to click on this thing and show you. It's going to bring me straight to Canva Code right here. And you see it's already version 10 of this application. So we will learn one important thing today is that Canva Code is not a straight line. Okay, when you build an app, it's not going to be like you put one prompt, you get an app. If that's what you think of it, change your perspective. It's going to be you prompt and then you iterate, and then you prompt again and then you iterate. And sometimes you are caught in that loop of like, what am I doing? It's not working. But if you push through, if you use the right tools, if you use the right workflows, you should get to the app you have imagined, just like me with this app right here. So what is this? So it's a simple copy to clipboard app for me to have access to all of my links, all of my referral for my courses, for my affiliate links, everything, because I spend a lot of time answering people's comments here on YouTube, on Udemy, on Skillshare. I communicate a lot via email to my students, my community, and I often need these links. For example, this link to our YouTube channel, if I click here, you see it's copied to my clipboard. So it's very useful for me to have this app on my phone right here, so I can just get the link and copy it in a message that I'm writing. Okay, so that's the first app we are going to build today, and I'm going to be recreating this app from scratch. Okay, not using this one. I will try to recreate it. And the second one is this game right here. I told you about the Canva keyboard shortcut. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's a simple game like this one to learn how to use the Canva keyboard shortcut. So we'll see how we can code a similar app in Canva as well. All right, so that's what's on the menu for you guys today. All right, let's get started. What is Canva AI? Well, Canva AI is really an effort by Canva to bring you an all-in-one solution for your creative endeavors, okay? So Canva wanted to create an AI partner that would be your creative partner. And one of the things Canva do best is to bring everything under one roof, okay? They started with design, presentation, video, and then they added more stuff like whiteboards, websites. Now they have added recently emails, forms that you can create with Canva, and now Canva Code, so vibe coding. So Canva AI is this hub that has been kind of repackaged. So you can access Canva AI from the homepage by either clicking on that button right here on the side panel or the Canva AI button right here. This should bring you to the Canva AI hub where you will see these buttons. All right, this brings us to Canva Code. Today's topic, what is it? Well, it's simply Canva's last frontier, I would say, in terms of bringing you like the AI suite of tools right there inside Canva. We were missing vibe coding. We were missing like generating these applications, games, interactive experiences, and that's exactly what Canva Code is bringing, okay? So one important thing we need to know is that it's available to all Canva users, so that's great. They could have made it like pro only or Canva paid only, but that's not what they chose to do. So this is really to be appreciated because this is a very powerful tool. The way they decided to go about this is that they would give more usage to paid users versus the free users. What does it mean concretely? That a Canva free user will have 20 messages per day that they can send to Canva Code, while a paid user will have 60 messages, so 3 times more usage of that tool. I'm talking about messages per day, and a message is not a project that you start, it's just a prompt that you send to Canva Code. So just know that. If you're a free user, just know that these 20 messages could run out quite quickly if you are developing one app and you don't really know what you're doing or how to best structure your prompts. Which leads me, what a great transition. Which leads me to my tips for better prompts so that you save your messages, you save the usage that you have, and you don't burn your credits with like stuff that doesn't lead you anywhere. So one thing I want to show you to start with. Let me get into Canva. If you get into the code area of Canva AI, okay, by clicking on code, and you scroll down a bit, what you'll see here are a few prompt templates, okay? When you click on one, it loads right here. This doesn't cost you anything, but these are just templates, okay? So I've done one very simple thing because I wanted to know, okay, those templates, those 10 templates right here, they've been written and they've been used here as examples by Canva for a good reason, because they are probably good prompts. So what I did is that I copied all of these prompts and then I came to my good old friend here, ChatGPT. Okay. And what I've done, I have pasted all of these prompts. You see 1, 2, 3. So all of these are the prompts that come in these templates. And I've asked it a very simple question. Do you see a pattern in these prompts? Like, help me reverse engineer these prompts so I understand what is the anatomy of a great Canva Code prompt. So I did that, and that was really eye-opening because ChatGPT is spitting out a few patterns. Okay, pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so great. Then I ask it then, okay, then could you turn these patterns into a bunch of tips? And yeah, it did so. So it gave me 5 tips. Okay, tip number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's exactly what we are going to review right here. All right, so first tip is to start with a tiny prototype. Okay, so you don't spend like your first prompt giving details over details over details and a long list of features of what it should do. This is just going to confuse the model. Start small with like the first step, like show it the mechanism and then scale that. Okay, so an example here, like give it one example, one scenario, one interaction, and this becomes the backbone of your app. So one example I highlighted here, start with an example birthday card for Emma featuring confetti animations, a soft blue to pink gradient background, and interactive elements that trigger when clicked. Okay, so you see that in that template, it's specifically mentioned like start with this basic feature and then we can iterate. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, describe the interactions, not just the idea. Okay, so here we want the interaction meaning what happens when the user does that? What happens when this happens? Like, the behavior of the app. So we're talking about drag and drop, flip animations, a scoring system, a timer, or some stuff that expands, or some matching happening, some animation going on. Be concrete. Try to describe the interactions you want the user to have with your app. Okay, some example that I found in the templates, clean flip animations. This is for the flashcard game. So when you click on that card, it has a clean flip animation and it has a progress tracking. Okay, so these are a feature and an interaction. All right, tip number 3, break your idea into ingredients. Okay, so it's important that you list your variables, your features separately. It helps Canva organize the logic. Again, here I have an example. So featuring 6 geometry terms with colorful designs, hint system, celebratory animations for correct matches. So you see like a few different behaviors have been listed here. Tip number 4, tell it what to avoid. We already mentioned that, so no non-functional buttons. If there's something you don't want in your app, just tell it so there's no guesswork. And then tip number 5, edit with a set of follow-up questions. Okay, so end the prompt with a set of follow-up questions. This is probably the most important part of the prompt because it helps the model clarify all the things you haven't answered instead of guessing. And then the more guessing from the model, the further away your first version of the app will be from what you have imagined. Okay, so this is really where you get custom polished apps when you get the model to ask you a bunch of questions before it generates the first version. All right, and the syntax is always almost the same. Like as a follow-up, ask me about subject area, specific terms and definitions to include, difficulty level, visual theme preferences, hint, feedback, style. So you see that this gives you almost like the blueprint, right? So here, basically like a summary of these 5 tips. I call them the 5 building blocks of a strong Canva Code prompt. Okay. All right, let's move on to part number 4. So what we're going to build or rebuild, because this is already built, is this copy to clipboard app right here. Okay, I started with this prompt that I actually gave Canva Code with my microphone right here. I'm trying to build a simple copy to clipboard app that will help me copy with the tap or the click of a button a URL associated with that button. This is going to be very useful for me because I often need to have quick access to different links, and instead of opening my Note app, I would love to have everything on this app. I'm going to give you an example. Let's imagine you create a button that says Canva Master Course, and then when the user taps or clicks on that button, it will copy the URL of the Canva Master Course, which is a course that I have on Udemy, to the user's clipboard, so that the user can then go and paste that link anywhere he or she wants. Ask me a bunch of follow-up questions to figure out the full app. And I want this app to look futuristic with a dark mode and some purple to pink gradient accents. I'm gonna copy all of this and I'm gonna come back to ChatGPT. I'm gonna go all the way back to the end of this conversation right here. And this is where you will need that workbook that I prepared for you with all the slides, all the tips, all the 5 building blocks. What you are going to do is to screenshot these slides, paste them right here in ChatGPT, and then do the following prompt. Apply the 5 building blocks to this prompt and improve it. Okay, so I'm going to give it the prompt. There you go. I'm going to run this. So what's going to happen now is that ChatGPT is going to go fetch that information and rewrite my Canva Code prompt with a better structure. Create a simple copy to clipboard tool that gives me fast access to my most used URLs. The app should let user tap or click a button to instantly copy the associated link to their clipboard. That is correct. I want the interface to feel futuristic with dark mode, styling, and purple to pink gradient accents. Example prototype. Start with one sample button. Label Canva Master Course, URL, the Udemy link to the course. Display the button using the chosen dark mode look. When the user clicks or taps it, it copies the URL directly to the clipboard and show a small confirmation like copied or link copied. Interaction rules. Each button corresponds to a URL stored in the app's data. Clicking or tapping the button copies that exact URL. Show a subtle confirmation feedback. Support both desktop click and mobile tap. Yes. Allow multiple buttons arranged cleanly in a list or grid. Keep spacing generous so buttons are easy to hit. And then follow-up questions. Ask me which button labels I need, the URLs, obviously, associated with each button, whether I want categories or sections, whether I prefer a grid layout, vertical list. So I'm going to copy all of this. This is really good. I'm going to copy all of this all the way to here, come back to my prompt, which I didn't launch, paste this one, which is much better. And the only thing I need here is to change this for my actual URL from the course. So let me just quickly copy the link to the Canva Master Course, which is right here. And come back here. I'm going to swap that here. You see, I put my link. I'm going to run this prompt. And Canva should start giving me a first version, which is already going to be pretty close to what I imagined. All right, so what I have here is the questions, the follow-up questions. Before I build it, I have a few questions to make it perfect for you. Button labels and URL. Should I start with just Canva Master Course example, or do you have 2 or 3 more links? I have everything here in this Canva sheet. So I'm going to copy all of that. So this has the label of the button, the URL, and the category. I'm going to answer first question, use these links and categories. I'm holding the shift key when I hit enter, so it doesn't run the prompt. Layout preference, so that's number 2. Would you prefer vertical list? Yes, vertical list. Shift button, 2 enters, or I could have only 1. Gradient intensity, should the gradient accent be bold? Yes, bold. Gradient accents, hold a click, and that's it pretty much. So I can run that. So with this information, I believe Canva has enough material to build my app. All right, so I have my courses, I have my YouTube links, I have my Canva links, Skillshare, affiliates. Now the big question is it working, right? So I'm gonna click on one to see what's going on. I'm gonna click on, let's say the AI with RONNY YouTube channel. I'm gonna copy this. Okay, I don't see the confirmation message, but I mean, let's try. I'm gonna open a new link here, paste, and yeah. So you see it didn't copy to my clipboard because what I see here is the latest thing I had in my clipboard, which is the entire list of links, which is this right here. So I can say immediately from two hints. The first one is that it doesn't say link copied to clipboard. And the second one is that when I paste it, it's not pasting that specific link, it's pasting the entire thing. So I'm just going to give it some feedback and I can use my voice. It doesn't seem to be working when I click or tap on a button. It doesn't copy the URL to the clipboard. And it also didn't give me the confirmation message that the link was copied to clipboard. Can you make sure that the data I sent earlier with the labels, the URLs, and the categories are actually working, that each button uses that specific URL? Okay, I'll fix the clipboard functionality right away. Let me ensure each button properly copies its exact URL and shows the confirmation. I have fixed the clipboard functionality. The issue was that the clipboard API needs proper error handling. Okay, don't mind what it is. So this is good. The app is working. It only took me 2 iterations. So that was fast. Once you are here and you have an app that works, okay, version 2, it works. You can do a few things. I'm going to use this in a design. You can use this in a website, presentation, doc, or whiteboard. I'm going to use this in a website because from here, you can now start customizing this app. You can customize the text and you can customize the look. So you need to double tap to interact. So I click here and I see this edit button. So now I can change the name of the app. You see the first quick links right here. I could call this RONNY Link Hub. And I could even give this an emoji, RONNY Link Hub. I could have this little guy right here. It's not showing very well because of the color of the font, but RONNY Link Hub, tap to copy URL instantly. Yeah, this is good. I don't need to change that any further. And that's what you can customize for now. Okay, I can customize the text. So from here, I can do 1 or 2 things. I can publish this as a website. So if I publish it as a website, you can do the usual, give it a specific URL. You can give it a favicon, give it whatever, like a password protected. But me, I'm good. I'm just going to publish this. I want to show you the final product of this. I'm going to take my phone here as well and show you that it works on a phone. It will give you a website, a URL. I'm going to copy this one and show you how it works as a website right here on desktop. This is how it looks. Looks super clean. I'm very happy about this. I like the highlights and it works. So this is how it looks right here. You can see the app is right here and it works the same way. If I click here, I see linked, copied to my clipboard. Obviously, this is something very useful for me because it's a specific use case that I feel I need in my workflow. So the question really to ask yourself is, okay, looking at my workflow, my daily workflow, my daily work, where are the pains? Like, what are some things that I do again and again every single day, and it takes me each time I do it like a few minutes or like maybe a few hours if you accumulate them. What are these tasks that I could maybe automate or do differently? That's exactly how I came up with the idea of this app. Something I didn't explain is the following. If I come back to Canva AI and click on code right here, you should see your recent chat right here. You can click here to see all, or you can click the hamburger menu right here to see all of your latest conversations. It's kind of like ChatGPT, you have your recent chats right here. So these are my code chats. If I exit this and get into, I don't know, like the video clips, and you click here, you'll have different things. It's not the same chat. You see, it's not the same thing. Again, if I come to code, I want to show you the Canva keyboard shortcut. So this one has 12 versions. We started with a very basic prompt. I actually coded this one before running through ChatGPT and all of that stuff. So this is the base prompt. Yeah, start by parsing all of the shortcuts for both Windows and Mac OS from this landing page. Canva has a landing page with all the keyboard shortcuts. It's called canva.com/help/Canva keyboard shortcuts. This is your knowledge base. And it was successful in just going in there and fetching all of the keyboards. I didn't have to input them manually. So that's the beauty of it. On the card, the user sees the action, example, undo, and then the user needs to input the correct shortcut on their keyboard. So in this case, Command+Z on a Mac. So that was basically the first thing. I have version 1, looks like this, and I could click here and do undo. So that's Command Z. Okay, Command Z. And then I could go next card and then continue like so. So I had a few different things to say about this first version. I say, okay, make the following adjustments to the app. First, randomize the questions because it was following the order of the website. It seems like they are following the order. Second, allow the user to use the key enter to go to the next card instead of clicking next card. And so it did that, give me version 2 and so forth. So, I continued, the command key doesn't seem to be working, fix that. So you will run into problems. Then it started changing the input, this all the way to version 12, which is the most accomplished version where I corrected different things. You see, and I have my progress. Instead of accuracy, I have the number of correct answers and I have a streak. So a streak, like how many good answers did you give in a row? You also can now have data linked in a Canva sheet. So if I click here, the Canva shortcut flashcard, you will see that I have all of this data that has been collected right here. So this is, in a nutshell, the other app that I have built. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this summary of the webinar about Canva AI. Don't forget to grab the workbook, either via scanning this QR code, or if you're watching on your phone, find the link in the description of this video, because this is where I have compiled all of the prompts, all of the tips that I showed you during the webinar. And you will need that if you want to follow the workflow. All right. Thank you for watching until the end. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video.